Hey, what's up, good folks? This your man Chris Thorns. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for another news story. Right after this. What's going on, good folks? It's your man Chris Thorns. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching my content. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And disclaimer for the people on news break, please be advised you're only watching the clip. If you would like to see the full details of the story or my commentary, you can always feel free to click the link that I will post in the comment section. If you cannot click that, go to my post section. I always post a link over there for y'all to come over here and share your thoughts on what you're about to hear. Or if that doesn't work, just look me up on YouTube, The Chris Thorne Show. Love to have you over to share your thoughts. With that being said, we're going to get right into this story. Ladies and gentlemen, this story is coming out of Chicago. All right? There's a lot of stuff going on in Chicago. You know, Chicago can't be that bad, can it? Wow. Or is it? I don't know. We have a mother by the name of Tatanisha Jackson, who you see going across my screen. Unfortunately, Miss Jackson's no longer here with us. It's because she was shot 4 times by her own son in the head. Let me repeat that again. They say she was shot 4 times in the head by her own son. All right? The son's name is Davion Pryor. I tried to look for pictures of Davion, and I saw some pictures, but I was unsure if that was him. Somebody who's playing football for high school or something. I was unsure if it's him or not, so I didn't bother to download this so y'all can see it or whatnot, you know. But whoever is around this story, I know who he is, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, guys, I want y'all to hear this.
New details tonight in the murder of a South Shore mother. Her 17-year-old son is in custody and charged as an adult. Asal Razai joins us from Cook County Courthouse, where he appeared in front of a judge this afternoon.
The judge visibly emotional here today as he took on this case. He called it a tragedy. As we learned, the shooter is 17-year-old Davion Pryor. The court saying the victim in this case is his mother, who he shot in front of other family members. Devastating details emerging just days after the murder of 43-year-old Tatanisha Jackson. Court documents reveal her 17-year-old son, Davion Pryor, is now charged with first-degree murder. They say he shot his mother in the head at point-blank range 4 times as she was arriving to her home on Cornell Avenue in South Shore Thursday afternoon. Her husband, Davion's dad, and his 7-year-old brother both just steps behind her when she was shot. His father telling detectives as he was calling 911, he heard several more gunshots before Pryor ran out of a back door. First responders finding Jackson with multiple gunshots to the head and body. They also found 12 shell casings nearby. Detectives recovered a gun at the scene and say Pryor turned himself into police just hours later. Prosecutors say Pryor has 2 pending cases in juvenile court for aggravated battery and vehicular hijacking. He was on home confinement at the time of the murder. His grandmother telling us in court today he's been diagnosed with mental health problems in the past and has been off his medication. The judge ordering a mental health evaluation for next steps in this case. Pryor will remain in custody with an upcoming court date set for next Friday. Reporting from the Cook County Courthouse, Asal Razai, CBS News Chicago.
Pryor was already scheduled to appear in court for those 2 pending juvenile cases in less than 2 weeks.
2 pending juvenile cases, saying he's suffering from mental issues, and say he's been off his medication. And the worst of it all led to him shooting his mom in the head 4 times. That's a bad combination. But for a lot of you who follow me faithfully, especially on this YouTube thing, we speak about this a lot over here, about this mental illness stuff. Okay, I always tell y'all it's real. Do not water it down. My only issue about this mental health thing is when people try to claim it after they did the dirty deed. All right, Not saying this with him. I can't say yay or nay with him, but apparently, according to the grandmother, he's dealing with mental health issues, which he was off his medication and this is supposed to happen. All right. So let this be a lesson, first of all, to a lot of you, don't ignore this, take it seriously, especially from a person who works in the field, so y'all already know that. Okay. So as I get into this, and what's supposed to have happened. Okay, I'll just read to you what happened. For what I'm reading from this article, it said a mom was shot in the head 4 times and killed by her own son in front of her husband and younger son, police claim. Tatanisha Jackson was walking into the family home in South Shore, Chicago, on Saturday afternoon when 17-year-old Davion Pryor opened fire in front of his dad and younger brother, prosecutors say. According to the investigators, Davion, who had just picked up his younger brother with his dad, had called his mom 10 minutes earlier, claiming there was somebody drinking on their back porch. As Jackson opened her front door, she was blasted in the head at point blank range. Authorities arrested Davion the same day, just before 10 p.m. in the 7,000 block of South Cottage Grove. He will be tried as an adult on a charge of first-degree murder. It also said the crime sent shockwave throughout the community and the courtroom as Judge David Kelly, who called the incident a tragedy, could barely contain his emotion while he presided, taking several moments to collect himself. He goes on to say, "This is a very sad tragedy to this court. The unprovoked shooting and killing of your mother in front of your father and brother." Jackson arrived to Cornell Avenue in South Shore neighborhood where she lived, followed her son's car and unlocked the door. Pryor, who was on the other side, swung the door open and unloaded 4 bullets into her skull at point blank range, making a horrific mess. Okay? Now, they saying this was unprovoked. He just all of a sudden just up and did this, for what I'm gathering reading this. Let me take a look at this other article that I'm looking at. And it says, pretty much saying the same thing. But they said it was more shots that took place as well. As a matter of fact, let me play this article right here, because I think it may have a little more information in it.
And justified, a judge ordered 17-year-old Davion Pryor detained after the teen was charged with shooting his mother to death in front of his dad and little brother. Relatives of the teen leave court this afternoon without comment, moments after 17-year-old Davion Pryor is ordered to remain behind bars for the tragic slaying. In court, an emotional Cook County Judge David Kelly said, "This is very sad and tragic to this court. The unprovoked shooting and killing of your mother in front of your father and brother." The teen has been charged as an adult with first-degree murder in connection with the slaying. Investigators say the violence erupted. That's when Davion's father and mother, 43-year-old Tatanisha Jackson returned home to the family's apartment near 68th and Cornell with the teen's 7-year-old brother, who they just picked
Violence erupted.
up from school. During the hearing, authorities say before the family arrived home, the teen called his mother to talk to her about someone drinking alcohol on the back porch. The teen's father and brother, who witnessed the attack, told police it was as Tatanisha unlocked the home's front door, the teen opened the door and then pointed a gun at his mother and opened fire at nearly point-blank range. The victim was shot in the head 4 times. Prosecutors say the father picked up his younger son and ran to safety, where he called 911. They say that they then heard 5 more shots from inside the apartment. Investigators say the teen then ran out the apartment's back door. He was captured on security cameras along Stony Island Avenue, and his cell phone pinged in the area. Police recovered a 9mm weapon used in the attack, along with 12 bullet casings. An attorney for the teen says he was in a GED program and had a part-time job. Davion Pryor turned himself in to officers at the 3rd District Police Station. Authorities say at the time of the murder, Pryor was already on home confinement after being charged as a juvenile with aggravated battery and after being found guilty of a carjacking in July. A judge also ordered a mental evaluation for the teen, who is due back in court next week.
All right, guys. So, again, dealing with something like this, it's got to be hard, whether you're mom or dad, to have children like this, especially when y'all doing the best that you can. And the only thing that's probably keeping them sane is medication. But when they're not taking their medication, I can imagine how hard it is, because I don't have any children. I just work in the field when I work with adults that have mental issues, and I am trained, how to deal with them when they have their issues or whatnot. But to have somebody actually staying in your home and dealing with this, I can only imagine how it is. And that's why they put them in these programs for people like me or whoever that's working in this field to work with your loved ones or whatnot. But here's the part that gets me with that, though. A lot of people put the loved ones in these programs and don't want nothing else to do with them, and I think that's the saddest or whatnot, and I think that has an effect on a lot of these people too that be in these programs, because the folks put them up in there and they just totally don't want nothing else to deal with them, especially if they go to one of these behavior institutes. We got one down here called Lakeside. And when I worked there for a minute, I had quite a few of the guys tell me that, they've been in there for the longest and they folks won't come see them. They don't want anything to do with them. And I was like, man, that's fucked up right there, But I guess I got to think about what the parents was going through while they was at the house, So this is crazy. But what I'm trying to find is they saying violence erupt. So, okay, it says he's now charged, blah, 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 blah. Dressed in orange, detention shirt and jeans. He appeared in court Saturday, where new details were revealed in the murder case. Pryor is accused of putting a gun and shooting his mother in the head 4 times in front of the teen's father and 7-year-old brother, who they just picked up from school. During the hearing, authorities said before the family ride home, the teen had called his mom to talk to her about someone drinking on the back porch. The teen's father and brother, who witnessed the attack, told police it was as Tatanisha unlocked the home's front door when Pryor opened the door and then pointed a gun at his mother and opened fire at nearly point-blank range. She was shot in the head 4 times. The father picked up the younger brother, and he did. Okay, police said the teen ran off. He later tucked himself in. Okay, it must be something I'm missing when they saying violence erupted. What was they talking about? I had to go back and look at this video once it upload and process or whatnot. Anybody who knows of this story or is a family member or a friend or something, y'all can tell me what are they talking about when they say violence erupted? What is this violence they're supposed to say erupted? Or are they talking about the shooting? I'll have to go back and listen to it because I don't want to make this video too long or whatnot. So there's nothing really much I can say about this other than, this is tragic and sad. And this should be a wake-up call for a lot of you, if you're dealing with a son or a daughter who have mental issues, man, y'all need to stay on point with them folks, because, we know now where you should have been known. Once a lot of these people have an episode, it could be something serious. I mean, seriously, it could be something serious, and to the point that the shit is scary as hell. Trust me, it's scary, and you do not take it lightly. You take it serious, all right? So don't ever downplay it or whatnot. But at the same time, I say this too, don't let this always be the reason, or try to play it down and let this be the reason as to why, a lot of these people commit the crimes that they do. Because a lot of people are perfectly sane in what they're doing. But when they get caught and get in trouble, they want to do the crazy plea. And that shit I hate with a passion. Okay? I hate it with a passion. Okay? So, for this story, guys, this story is like 2 or 3 days old. So I'm assuming there's still more stuff that has to be there's still more stuff that's coming out about it. But other than that, though, mental illness or not, when it gets to the point that they want to kill their folks, that's where it's becoming a real serious problem. All right. I'm gonna try to stay on top of this and try to see, because I would like to know what happened prior to this. Okay, I want to know exactly what happened prior to this and what caused this to may have happened. Was it an argument? Did they get into it? Was it something that was said, or was it something that he wanted that he didn't get? And this violence erupted. What did she mean when she said that? Or again, maybe I missed the cue what she was talking about. But I'll stay on top of it. But as always, y'all leave your thoughts and comments, what y'all think about this. And hey, I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks.